Alrighty, now we're live. Let's bring everyone
Ah,
in.
good to
Hello,
see everyone.
everyone.
Hello, Lachlan. Long time no see.
I know, it's like we don't do this every other day.
It's true. Morsey, welcome back.
Hello, good to be home and with whiskey
And
in
we've
front of
got,
me. So it's
I
not
know,
like nothing's changed.
and we've got a whole outturn, a whole tasting on the things that people ask us for all the time: peat and sherry.
True.
Peat and
What a
sherry.
night.
I know. It's really exciting, this one. I know it was a bit umming and ahhing. It was more about whether festivals whiskies would be here on time, but they weren't. So why not hit it off even harder with peat and sherry?
Why not? It's actually interesting, isn't it? Like it is kind of the most, maybe they're the most like known categories or the most easy to define categories, but like everyone talks about it. Where's sherry cask whiskey? Where's heavily peated whiskey? And we sort of almost like sometimes lean hard the other way because we want to talk about you're missing all these other flavors in the other categories. Don't get focused. But then, you get a tasting like this and you remind yourself, actually, yeah, peat and sherry.
Yeah. It's I guess it's because it's the most distinctive kind of whiskey characteristics, especially as far as Scotch whiskey goes.
Yeah.
The relationship between Scotch whiskey and sherry goes back 500, almost 600 years. Whereas peat is so intrinsically tied to Scotch whiskey. It's just something so definitive, I guess,
Yeah.
of what Scotch whiskey is representative of. And everyone loves a bit of sherry, and everyone loves a bit of peat. Well, a
That's
lot of
it.
people like a lot of peat, but
Yeah. And then some people like sherry peated.
Yes.
yeah,
Marry them
Great
together.
combo.
it is. Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
But should we start off with something that's not either?
Yeah,
We
mess it
should.
up.
So dazzle things up. What have we got, Lachlan?
Yeah. So, Frazzle Dazzle, the malt of the month as well. Yeah, something really exciting for me. I'm going to pour some into a glass.
So those
So,
tuning in.
Oh, did
Little
you guys not
colourful
get full bottles?
Ah.
Did you not get
Ah.
full bottles of this?
Did you
Oh,
spring
No.
for the premium virtual tasting pack?
I've got
obviously.
a big tasting lineup to get through with 700 mils.
Do you have a 700 ml glass as well? Like a big society tasting of that?
I should have just got a bucket and put all of them together as well. Just like, why not?
Yeah. Ultra small batch. I don't know about you guys, but I poured this about maybe just under 10 minutes ago, and the nose is a lot more fragrant and vibrant than the first time I had this.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, mine's been about 10 minutes too, and it's I don't know, it's less of that really upfront beer note or barley wine note. The first time I had it, it was very reminiscent of like old fashioned, just in that how dominant the cask type was. But this is a little bit more it's mellowed out from my recollection of it.
And is that old fashioned the Heresy release or
Yeah.
So playing along at home.
That was IPA, and
this is
IPA barley one, obviously, so a bit different, but just that that sort of cask type had a very similar note for me.
Well, the beer cask type thing is, I mean, it's obviously probably happened for a long time, but it's starting to get a lot more traction after the American craft brewing evolution. But this one was always particularly exciting to me because it's one of my favorite breweries, and a lot of the society collaborations have been one of the small handful of breweries. And this one being Tempest Brewing, I actually pulled up a pic of their brew house as well. Let me just get that up because this is this is their tap room. There, just about 45 minutes south of Edinburgh. But they've
gone with a zebra version of the Macallan Distillery there.
Effectively, yeah. Just without the Teletubby hills.
Yeah.
But this brewery has made some of my favorite barrel aged beers. Or I'm a big fan of big dark beers, big high ABV dark beers, your barley wines, your wee heavies or Scotch ales. I've actually got a can of one of their previous collaboration beers for the society in my fridge at the moment.
Cool.
Which I'm
There
just
you go. Abe,
super keen
thanks
to.
for joining us, Paps. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see some people getting into the comments section. Welcome back, Abe. It's been a while.
Yeah. So the beer that they made, I did some research into this beer that they used for the cask. So the casks were custom coopered Virgin American oak casks sent to Tempest to brew their double denim smoked barley wine. So it was beechwood smoked barley. So I don't find a lot of that smoke coming through on the
Yeah.
whiskey. I find it just
No.
a slight kind of herbal element. That's kind of probably what I'm going to attune to that.
I get a very
Definitely.
savory, dry note
Yeah.
to
Mine's
it.
definitely it's charred all the fruit in it, and it's giving me a peppery thing. Must be something to do with that sort of like slightly acrid smoke thing, having that effect on the other underlying or the spirit notes. Yeah.
It was 100% Speyside single malts as well. All at 10 years old, I believe, when they were put into these barley wine casks. So 3 years in the barley wine.
Yeah, no, that's very different from the time. I think we had this for Melbourne members. We had this at our heresy tasting at PJ's, and it was very different. I mean, put comments in if you were at having this and at that, because two different whiskies for me.
Yeah, or even if you're at the Fancy Hanks
yeah,
maple mustard pulled pork
Yeah.
last year, which we first featured it as an ultra teaser.
And
but
addicted to audio.
Yeah, addicted to audio and the highball. A complete different way. As you've seen, we've teased this cast quite a bit, and well, we've all been on the edge, and now we're here.
Mm.
But,
That's interesting.
yeah,
The
it's
highball.
like,
Sorry, it's just the highball.
No, go.
I'd forgotten that was the ingredient, and yeah, that did a lot of change to the palate. Like I wasn't getting so much pepper and so much of that dry. That was kind of like the vanilla, fruity components when it was in highball form, and I'm getting heaps more of that dry char in neat form.
Yeah,
Well,
like the pineapple.
highball, yeah. The highball for me was all about trying to accent the pineapple, that roasted pineapple.
Yeah.
I think it was what did I say to everyone? It was the pineapple clinkers, the
Oh
chocolate.
yes,
And
yeah. Because it's got a bit of the chocolate as well. Actually, that's great call.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we were aiming for. So where now it's there's a bit more of that kind of savory herbal element coming through, the dry spiciness as well. I reckon you could spend hours and hours with this whiskey and find
Yeah. It's that
so
lovely
much
thing
to
about
it.
heresy with so much, attention paid to what the composite ingredients. It's just layers and layers and layers. I know single malt has that too, but it's like you can almost tell the deliberateness of it in the heresies.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
Snakes23 says drinks hotter than 50%. Do you reckon?
Interesting. I was going to go the other way. I mean, everyone's palate's different, but yeah, I would have thought. I think actually, when we had it at PJ's, not to harp on about other events and stuff, but just if anyone was there, like, it was actually my least favorite of the lineup at that event. But then, yeah, this one, if this had been on that lineup, if you know what I mean, very different story. Like, this is a different thing. And one of the elements of that was I thought that kind of it drank around 50 or maybe a touch higher on that night. But tonight, I'm getting it like it's got almost like a 43%er to me.
And you said that
you
everyone's
guys,
palate's different, so
yeah. And you
And
guys
we're used
opened
to
yours
it.
up for about an hour beforehand, so whereas I've opened mine straight away, bought it straight away, tasted it straight away. It drinks, I'd say, around 48 to 51, but that's just me as well.
It's a good point, actually. Yeah, mine, Ads and I were saying, we'd poured ours earlier, so there will be a bit of that reducing just in the time mine's been in the glass and in
And it
the
looked like
decant.
Yeah,
It looked like
and
you
first
had about
sip of
half
the
a
night.
bottle already.
Yeah, that's right. I'm pushing it. What do I know? I'm drunk already.
What do you think, guys? Should we move on to the next whiskey? What do you reckon?
I'm pretty
70 or the
excited.
160?
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I feel like Frazzle Dazzle will be an interesting one to come back to. I think.
Yep.
Because it's got that it's as you said, Alex, it was sort of your least favorite of that heresy night, but I think it's got a lot to offer in time, and it's going to transform a lot.
Yep.
So I
I think
think,
so.
yeah, let's move on, and if you got some in your glass, worth coming back to later, I reckon.
Yeah, agree.
I would probably suggest that we go to the 70 next.
Excellent. Those playing at home, middle of your tasting mat, if you've laid it out.
Yep.
If I ever, yeah, from tasting these recently, I'd say the 70 is the best one to go to next.
A bit more
Ooh.
savory, nutty.
Yeah.
Corbin, good to see you. So we know it's sometimes hard for the West Coast to join in with the time difference, and we apologise. But good to see you coming in.
Yep.
Dog,
Haven't missed
hope
much.
your surgery went well and you're recovering quick. Oh, yeah, I love this 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've, as a lot of people know, I'm a big fan of Distillery 70. I love the creamy spirit character that it has, the big malt. It survives beautifully in both sherry and in bourbon. It's just such an exceptional spirit. I don't know any other way to put it. It was a little bit of a shame for the rebranding of their core, but that's not a comment for tonight.
Not our department.
Not our section.
70.55 Carpenter's Cocktail Cabinet. Killer name.
Killer
I
name.
know, and
Carpenter's
it's
is
it's
spot
so
on.
succinct as well. I mean, 15 years in timber, with a second maturation in Spanish oak, first of all Spanish oak. It really has that beautiful, nutty and oily Spanish oak character that I always, for anyone who's done any woodworking in the past, will know tongue nut oil.
Yep.
And that's what I find on this so heavily, and Brazil nuts as well.
Yeah, it's not into the like French polish
No.
territory, but it's got that like woodworking stain varnish kind of bit fresher woodworking going on with it.
And that tongue nut oil is so bright, and it's got a fruity kind of thing to it. You know it'd still hurt you if you drank it, but it's there.
Yeah,
There's an enticing.
Exactly.
Yes, Corbin, we're on a number 70 now. So it was number 3 in the tasting mat, and we're just making a slight lineup change. So we are on the 70.55 Carpenter's Cocktail Cabinet. That's what we're drinking now.
And Frazzle's the only one you need to catch up on.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is good. I think you're dead right, Lockie, about when you're talking about. I sort of would probably say I use that term like canvas spirit, kind of like the Glen Murrays that just work in different woods if they're done right. And I agree, like this Distillery 70 is one of those too, because it shows like it's done bourbon, it's had the sherry bit, and it's not decreased at any point. It's gone up at every point. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, a lot of our members, and yourself as well, Morsey, maybe you as well, Adam, will remember the vintage releases from this distillery back when they were owned by Berry Brothers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And those vintages were those single vintages were absolutely exceptional, but they were always either full maturation in bourbon or full maturation in sherry, and there was neither. And some of those sherry ones were absolutely spectacular, but I still remember the 1989 vintage.
Yes, yeah, I was going to say that. Birth year for me as well, but I remember that very well.
The refill bourbon, 21-year-old, stunning. But I mean, there's some of those sherries. I remember having, I think it was a 1960s distilled sherry single cask from them. These were one of the few distilleries that were doing those, including Glenfarclas and Glenrothes, releasing these single cask, single vintages at the time.
Actually, it's dead right. Like, I remember being pretty new to my whiskey journey and seeing that and thinking, oh yeah, birth year was cool, because not many bottlings were putting like the vintage number on bottlings, and so it was like quite rare to see something you could even get a birth year for, other than society bottlings or IBs that would put all the detail on.
Yeah, exactly. And it was super rare to see that back then.
Is
Thankfully
anyone else
now
getting like? Sorry, Lockie. I was going to ask.
that's
Is anyone getting like cayenne pepper and like uh what's that really creamy and cakey dessert, the rum barber
Oh, you're right.
rum
Yeah,
baba,
yeah.
yeah.
on the
And
nose?
also
It came a while to come through, but
Hungarian sweet paprika as well.
yeah, that's probably where my cayenne pepper's coming from.
Yeah. And I agree with I'm getting like the rum barber comment, I think for me is coming through as something a bit more vinous. Like it's almost got a touch of that Armagnac-y or maybe cognac quality to it.
Yeah. This is it's
He's
remarkable. As Snag said, this is good juice.
Oh
yeah. Here's a little photo of the really chunky, fatty stills of this distillery for everyone to have a look at.
That's got girth.
Yeah. But so there's a bunch of distilleries that have stills that are similar to this in the fact that they're just designed to get big malt character through the stills. Distillery 18 for us, 59 as well.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of us love their spirits, is because they've just got so much weight and can hold up against being battered around by timber.
Yeah, and I think you're right that then means it's got that kind of the weight of the spirit makes it that creamier, more viscous feel. Because as I drink this more, I think some of the sherry might be I'm seeing through it a little bit more, and it does have a beautiful, like almost like an ice cream note to it, which I think is a combo of vanillins and texture.
Yeah, and I guess it's really important to recognize what Spanish oak is doing there. That dry nuttiness that compared to your dry spiciness that you'd find on French oak, or your really kind of creamy, biscuity vanilla cinnamon that you're going to get off American oak. It's done some really cool oak profile using that Spanish oak properly. Really enjoy that.
Corbin's coming with a great note, which is a cayenne pepper and dusted Portuguese tart.
Yeah, with you on that custardy kind of feel of it. I was getting an ice cream, but I think it's that sort of same lactose concept in a nice vanilla form.
Yeah. It lines up with Snags' comment. Super buttery on the nose.
Yeah, agree.
That sort of cream and custard. Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, this and every dram tonight, except for the 160.1, is for sale, and we're also running a complimentary shipping from tonight until Sunday. So use the code SHIPINGMAY on the screen there, and complimentary shipping offer all orders over $250.
Nice.
Yeah,
it shows the quality of spirit, doesn't it? When it can do the age differences. I was thinking about this. 12 years in ex-bourbon first, yes, a little bit extra in the Oloroso, but we've had some exceptional ones from 70 at like the 30-year-old mark, and it doesn't need to be that old. It works at that old, but like the spirit's good enough that it could probably be an 8-year-old, and you would still be talking about how good the spirit quality was.
We have had young 70s as well come through in the last, I'd say, 5 years. I remember seeing like a 9-year-old, I think, come out, which was just full maturation festival bourbon.
Yeah.
And that was just exactly what I wanted. Creamy, nutty, like vanilla wafer biscuits, but
yeah,
boozy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the last 70 had was a spicy and sweet first fill bourbon single cask, and I believe that was between 9 and 13 years of age. Full mat. That was only 3 months ago, I think. But yeah, before that, the last year we saw 2 high age statement ones between the 25 and sort of 30-year-old age.
I remember,
as you guys said, different casking just shines in every age. Sorry, Lockie, go on.
No, I just wanted to echo the statements that we've all made now. That it works at age, it works young.
It's
it
damn
works
good whiskey.
Yeah,
it's good whiskey.
It sits alongside certain distilleries that just are so versatile, like 35. Lac 59 for me as well.
Yeah.
And 18 as well. Incredibly versatile spirits that just you can get whatever you really want to out of it by just
100%.
playing with maturation, playing with timber.
Without
I'm very excited.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say quickly,
go.
without the
Go.
maritime bit of this, this doesn't have the maritime bit, but it's very reminiscent, like spirit weight wise, of 52s as well.
Mm-hmm. That's actually
creamy viscosity kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's funny that you say maritime, because this distillery is, it's quite northerly. It's not too far from the ocean.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't take on a lot of savory element to it. It's just, it has just a little bit of saline, but that's. I mean, like most distilleries, they probably mature all over the country. So.
True. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Corbin, I see you've just gone back to the Frazzle after the 70, which is an interesting move. Does have a certain spikiness to it. So you're implying that it drinks higher than the 50% then, or?
Yeah, let us know, because I'm actually curious. I've gone back on the nose, and it's actually for me, because of the 70 maybe and the flavour going on in that, the Frazzle has gone insane amounts of that pineapple.
I was just about to say that. 100% it has, yeah.
All fruit for me now.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of like I hate using this tasting note because it implies that it's bad because the things that come from it are bad. But Advent calendar chocolate.
Oh, you're right.
Advent calendar chocolate has a certain sweetness to it that I think can be enjoyed.
Yeah,
as long as it's not ordered online and shipped from another country, I maybe
as soon as it starts to get the oxidization, like a white little flakiness to it. No way, but yeah,
it's fine if you eat it in one night and ignore the calendar part.
Yeah,
it's the fresh Advent calendar chocolate.
Perhaps have we seen many 70s in the last few years? I don't recall seeing, but I wasn't looking out for it. We've seen probably in the last year and a half, I think we've seen at least 3. One was that first fill bourbon barrel, spicy and sweet, from a few months ago. I can't remember the name on it, but we've also seen that Wizard Spell, which was that was in the 20-year-olds age bracket. That was probably a year and a half ago, and then we saw the B one, which was a juicy oak and vanilla, like 27-year-old. Had something to do with bees, I think. But that sold out as well. So we've seen at least maybe 3 or 4. But they don't come often. I mean, Doc 55 for a code Distillery 70. Like that's what, halfway, just below halfway of all our distillery codes for whiskey codes, and we've only seen 55 casks from there.
Yeah, exactly. We would have been bottling it for 30 years, given 70. We would have onboarded that by 1988 kind of year. I could check it. But also it's interesting because I think the revival of it, if you like, was Eloquent Silence. Might have been the first one we saw back for a while, and that was 30. That was a high age we got in.
There you go.
So yeah, not many.
Doesn't drink as high as the 70s, but def's higher than 50%, but super duper perfuminess. I got heaps of perfume when I first had it, so I agree with that.
Yeah, well, I remember first tasting this, the Frazzle Dazzle back then. And it was pretty rose hippie. When I first tasted it, very first time.
It's it's a versatile one.
Yeah. And Corbin, to answer your next question, no, there isn't any inside information about what codes are in the Frazzle Dazzle. No, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to be able to tell you, I don't even know.
No one knows.
Yeah. Yeah, no one knows in this triptych.
No, Ewan knows.
Ewan knows. Yeah.
Unless maybe
he doesn't. Maybe he just throws it together, doesn't pay attention, paddle passes it, away we go.
Maybe he did this all blindfolded, like.
Should we head on to one of the most hyped whiskies of this year so far?
I haven't tried this yet, so I'm ready.
Have you tasted this yet, Morsey?
No, I'm very excited because it's actually super interesting, isn't it? The way that this is like a massive tangent from answering that question, but how like trends go, because you don't see Japanese whiskey sort of in a big batch. Obviously,
Yeah.
society bit of a first mover on 130 to 132, and then
Well,
it
you got
becomes desirable, big gap, and then we're into like 159, 160, 161.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Well, the Society was the first company to independently bottle Suntory whiskey, first and only, I should say, as well. We also the first independent bottler of Nikka whiskey, with 116. And I mean, one of my favorite Japanese whiskeys of all time was the Society whiskey, 119.14.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the stout?
The Raspberry Imperial
The
Stout.
famous.
Imperial Stout.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The Japanese whiskey has grown so exponentially in awareness and consumption since 2008, and it's tapering off now, but there's also this new wave of distilleries, of which this is one.
Yeah.
No, that's really good point. Like, I suppose for a while it was a bit of a not a monopoly, but a fixed market of like maybe the top 5 big guys, and then a bit like you were saying about craft American breweries. There's this awakening of Japanese craft spirit, and suddenly there's new players.
Well, yeah, it's basically only happened since 2016 for this. Well, the very first craft distillery was Chichibu Distillery, and they opened in 2008.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And they really hit big time during that really big growth period. And so a lot of new distilleries popped up to open and release their first whiskey before or at the same time as the Tokyo Olympics.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it's sort of the two classes. It's like if you're already existing and had stocks, you coattailed off that, like you were saying there, or about to say, the 2016 Yamazaki Sherry winning WWA awards.
2014, that one. Yeah.
14, sorry, yeah, and then the new wave getting their aged stocks ready to go.
And this distillery was actually one that released their first whiskies in 2020 for the Tokyo Olympics. So yeah, I was really excited to see this join the fray as the Society distillery.
We're pretty lucky to get .1s for both 159 and .60. 160. I don't think the UK even got these. In fact, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Yeah.
But Corbyn's made a very interesting point. Not the first part, which congratulations, but the second part is anyone else getting a tinge of peat on the nose or at least smoke? And I'm glad he mentioned that, because I'm not getting that on the nose, but as soon as I tasted it, 100% I got a little bit of smoke, and I thought something is not right here, but it's definitely there on my first sip.
It is lightly peated, this spirit.
Yeah.
So
there you go, Corbyn.
3.5 parts per million.
Yeah, but no, I agree. It's definitely there. More on the palate I was ready for. It was a real savoury umami meat element on the nose for me, and then it turned into peat on the palate. Yeah.
But the first time I tried this whiskey, I did not detect that at all, which is why I thought there might have been something wrong this time, because it definitely was not there for me the first time, which is about a month ago now.
Well,
perhaps shoe polish on the nose. Yeah, it's all that sort of umami.
Yeah, like a Marmite, sort of Vegemite kind of thing, like almost extending the shoe polish. I see where you're going. I'm not getting that, but I know which category of flavour note you're in.
And for any just joining now, we are on 160.1 mango in the dojo, which is number 2 on your tasting mat.
Yeah. Full maturation in sherry as well. No, we don't know what kind of sherry, but I know for a fact that
just sherry.
Yeah,
just fun sherry.
This company, the overarching company that owns Distillery 159 and 160, they do feel mostly Oloroso. If it's either bourbon or Oloroso, and then they'll add a bit of PX down the track if they need to. They also play around with things like Fontanilla and Amontillado. So,
love a bit of that. Fino is the weirdest sherry I've ever had in Society whiskies, I think. Just makes it taste, well, the ones I've had they taste like rums. as a result, which is not what I was ready for when I was told they were Fino casks, but very odd casks.
That is strange.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Fino sherry cask aged whiskies I've had have been exactly kind of what I expect, which is bright, light fruit and delicate, a little
100%.
saline, you know.
All my OB ones have, like when it's just by a special edition by some distillery. But those society ones have always been a bit left field.
Yeah. All right, that's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Yeah, well,
this is interesting. This is really cool. I think the order was dead right, Lockie, too. I'm glad we switched because I hadn't had the 70 or the 160 until tonight, and I'm glad we've done them in that order.
Yeah, that I just knew that the heft of this distillery spirit is it needed to be later on. I'm such an obsessive of this distillery ever since they released their first whiskey. And I find it so fascinating that this distillery, second distillery, or if you want to be semantic, is the fourth distillery, this whiskey distillery this company has opened. And it's the most recent, and yet they've gone super traditional with it. So dunnage warehousing, all stone wall and wood and tin roofs.
Interesting.
Yeah, a really, really cool location. In southern Japan, so it's much more temperate, it's subtropical. It's a really, really cool place. And they just design. They produce 3 levels of peated spirit, from unpeated, lightly peated, as we've just had. Well, actually, technically 4, because they do the occasional run of 60 parts per million.
Whew, right.
But yeah, they do 0, 3.5, 20, and 60.
If this is their 3.5, I would probably actually struggle with their 60 if that's the way it develops. I mean, it is only 5 as well, so there's not been a lot of time to deteriorate the peat level.
No.
But this is pretty peaty for 3.5 if you think that Islay whiskies are in the, double digits at least. Pretty impressive, really.
Yeah. It's such a cool setup, cool distillery. I've always loved what they've done from their very first releases to all their limiteds. I'm a bit of an obsessive of this distillery.
This would be such a good, which actually is the same as the 159 and a few other younger Japanese ones we've had through, but this would be such a good food match whiskey with like red meats and more the syrupy, like sticky pork kind of things. It would just be so good.
We did that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
We paired this with some Wagyu.
That would work well.
Real fatty A5 Wagyu from Kagoshima. That was flown in for us. And some smoked Hokkaido scallops.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about seafood because I'm thinking and a lot of sort of more the lighter Japanese end of food wouldn't go so well. But yeah, if you bolstered up the flavors, I can see that working pretty well. Would cope with it.
Yeah, and Joel, Chef Joel made a gelato with it as well.
Yeah, awesome. That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, any of that sort of like nice glaze and braised pork element. Yeah, sorry, Ads. I was reading Snag's comment. I agree.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's a good comment. I was reading Corbin's comment. Corbin, you've got a whole bottle, so you know what? You should be game. Let us know how it is. Just, come on. You got this. We believe in you.
Just do
it. It would be interesting to see how to react. I don't actually have any still water with me. And although I could put some sparkling water in and, see what that does.
Do it. It's just water, mate. Do it.
It's like Japanese whiskey going with sparkling water and soda water. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, that's it. You've got a mini highball, a micro dosed highball there.
Exactly.
You know what
Perhaps
I could
added some water, got a bit more ashiness and citrus fruit. There you go.
There you
I
go.
would find maybe
Sounds
the
good.
sparkling water might actually add really highlight that mango element and the cedar, like
Mm.
the cedary kind of thing that I find on it.
Should I do
Yeah.
it?
You should do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Do
I'll do it.
it.
All right, I'll do
I
it.
mean, drink a bit more and then do it, or just make sure you've drunk enough and then do it. But yeah, no, always do it. It's fun.
I'll keep a little bit for neat later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with
Gotta
you,
get
Lockie. I
this-
reckon that woodiness is always there. Like it's almost like a Japanese signature, that kind of like cedar wood
Yeah.
quality in all Japanese whiskey.
I always find that this distillery has this intense savory element to it as well. Like a slaty, minerally, limestoney thing to the spirit character.
Yeah, definitely agree. For any
And I
wine
find-
nerds on, it would be that, yeah, like that mineralic oyster shell kind of licking a rock pool thing that a certain spectrum of like white wine has.
Yeah. Well, I've always equated it. I've always called it when I find that slaty, limestoney thing. I've always either called it, depending on how heavy it is, if it's a lighter limestoney style, like the chalk cliffs, you know, or it's like licking a slate fence in northern Scotland. You know the panel slate fences you'll find all around the Northern Highlands.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm.
No, not even in the slightest.
And even if you know them ads, you probably haven't licked one because you know you're a normal person. But
No. Yeah, but you know what? It's sometimes you got to come back
That's
down
right,
to earth
that's right.
sometimes.
Oh, man.
I'll taste anything.
But,
I'll taste anything once.
Agree.
If you guys walk around Whiskey and Almond and just see Lachlan licking random things,
It's just building
no,
his
it's-
palate.
it's- you know, it's
Just in the
research.
street.
It's R&D. It's R&D.
Just in the street.
I will say, as a highball, this is very very ashy.
Oh, did it bring more of that?
Definitely, it brought more of that out. So far on first sip, I'm not getting much of the fruit, but I see Corbin's bit the bullet. Good man, Corbin, and he says fruit bomb, which pretty much lines up with Paps's citrus fruit and a bit more ashiness.
Yeah, I was hoping the minerality of the mineral water that you had would kind of allow the fruit to shine a bit more.
Well, it is really high grade mineral water as well.
Cole's lightly sparkling. Yeah, oh, Woolies. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you were so close.
Oh, it's like
Alright,
me and
I've-
Chaps all
wrong
over
conglomerate.
again. Wrong all the time.
I've
It's actually a Highland Park.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
I've bitten the bullet and poured some water into mine as well.
Here we go. Third water attack.
While Lockie's deciding and thinking about what it's done as well, I've gone back to Frazzle. It's like my new benchmarking thing. Every time we do a new dram, I'm going to go back to some Fraz. And it's gone interestingly more, for me anyway, it's still fruity, but it's gone a bit more like there's lactose in it now. It's gone like fruit, milk bodily, lolly fruitiness to the nose, at least.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's something else in there I can't quite get, but it's changed again quite massively. Is the headline point, which is cool because none of the changes are like when I've had it before tonight, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Well, I finished my mango.
I reckon it's
I'm done. It was delicious, and I drank it all without water. Yum.
I am.
Okay, it's time for a bit of 66 action.
We're doing. Oh, Lockie, what's your water verdict? And then we'll do some 66.
I added a bit too much water, but it did what I thought that your mineral water would do. It was all mango, cedar, a little bit leathery as well.
Cool.
So it became real like tropical fruit, leathery, and cedar and dojo mats. You know.
Very cool.
Yeah, I see denotes.
See the notes.
See
Mhm.
denotes.
Let's move on to the 66 before you.
Right. I have a serious question for
Well-
everyone. What the
Yeah.
hell is a re-feathered pheasant?
I'm glad you mentioned, because I also have no idea.
I'm assuming it means the pheasant is a cooked or at least plucked pheasant, and then they've tarred and feathered the pheasant again.
Yeah.
Which
I think it's just a bit
that
of a
just seems like
gag.
a waste of time, doesn't it?
Maybe it's like taxidermy.
Yeah, put the feathers
Yeah.
back. I was
Yeah,
very
Yeah,
confused.
with tar.
With tar. Addition
Yeah,
of tar.
exactly.
Well,
Maybe it's the SMWS equivalent, like, of a taxidermist place. They do things differently.
Yeah, exactly. Their mission statement and ours aligns quite nicely.
yeah.
Yeah, this was my pick from May Our Turn, I think.
Yeah.
First time I had this, it reminded me of bacon and cheese.
Great call.
Shakes.
I need lots of time because there's so much going on the nose straight up. But that is a great call.
Yeah, well, but now I'm getting like that sort of like ice cream, vanilla ice cream, like maple vanilla ice cream note on the nose. In addition to that bacon, because I can't remember, is this actually, yeah? So it's first fill XPX extra matured for 3 more years, so it does have a bit of sherry.
Do you
in
guys remember those meat pie flavored crisps?
Ooh, vaguely, yes. Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what this smells like to me.
Interesting. Oh, hey, Betty. Betty's here.
Ah, now the party started,
We're on to number 66, Distillery 66, Betty.
which is
Dram
dram number
4.
4. Of course, Betty rocks up with the peated whiskies. Yeah. Corbin 66 was a standout at the Perth Our Turn preview
Nice.
tasting. Good to hear, Corbin, because it was also a standout for me.
Confirmation, validation.
It was. It is quite I mean, we've had some good 66s in the last, honestly, just even 4 years. But I feel like this is probably one of my favorites, even more so than those old and dignified, 20-year-olds. I am so
That is
sorry to hear that,
terrible, Betty.
Condolences
Yeah.
to you and your family.
Sorry to hear, Betty.
That's
an
horrible.
awful thing to happen.
Is this nose is fantastic.
If
It's got
if
something
you
I
were
can't-
to basically over black pepper the skin of a duck breast and then start to sear it and render out the fat of that, that's what that smells like. That's what that nose is to me. It's the sweet duck breast and fat cooking out, rendering out with just black pepper searing onto the pan.
Great call.
I thought you were trying to justify the
Oh, well,
name
it is
here.
gamey. Gamey is the right area for it to be in. It's definitely got that.
But it's
roast
definitely
game
it's hot duck fat and searing black pepper and with the sweet meat still cooking.
Was that on the nose or
On
the
the
palate?
nose. I haven't actually tasted this.
Yeah,
yet
I haven't. Yeah.
today.
The palate for me is, if this makes sense, it is kind of gamey, but it's not meaty. Like, it's not a
It's not
thick palate.
umami,
It's actually a
savoury.
fairly thin palate.
Agree.
I'm actually getting a bit of umami savory. It's more just the viscosity of it isn't very. It's not very oily. It just feels very thin.
No.
But the flavors are still rich.
See, I find it more of like that, almost like the caramel sauce from McDonald's. That kind of.
Oh yeah.
Texture-wise or
Flavor
flavor-wise?
wise, rather than
Okay,
the
yeah, flavor-wise,
meatiness.
yeah.
You've still got that really earthy wood smoke that you find on Distillery 66. Almost, I've always equated that kind of Highland peat to something like if you were to burn chocolate on the pan while trying to melt it.
Yeah.
That kind of that earthy,
Failed
greasy,
at-home
burnt
fondue.
chocolate kind of thing. That's what I've equated that kind of Highland smoke to. But this has also got that sweetness of the McDonald's caramel sauce.
Agree.
Definitely
I've just seen a comment from Corbin. I'm, as you know, nerd out massively on this. Shoot me or put a message up about the distillery code, if you know which ones used tarred and refeathered before, I can think of about 3 that have said tarred and feathered, but refeathered is new to me, I've got to say. They're usually Isla or Island, because we had a tarred and feathered aged, pretty aged distillery 4. Yeah, I think it was like 25 or something. And
It was.
That was a premium
one,
premium malt of the month. 2 years ago, it was a 20-year-old.
20, that's right.
Yeah.
And I can think of a Lafroig I've had. Oh, Distillery 29. But yeah, tarred and refeathered. I can't think of one.
God damn it, Alex.
Sorry, what's Lafroig?
What's Lafroig? I don't know. I feel like someone made the joke earlier. It's phenomenal. Phenol, phenomenal.
Oh. But yeah, I've definitely seen tarred and feathered a lot. Well, at least twice, if not.
Yeah.
I think a few. I think there was a bold code, red code bottling with tarred and feathered from around 2014, 2015.
Oh, okay. Yep. Corbin's clarified. He thinks that one was. I think that was tarred and feathered. My friend refeathered. I was like, oh, you've got me on that if that's true. But yeah.
I think that one was actually just called tarred and feathered. I don't think there was anything else in the name. It was straight up tarred and feathered. Yeah, that was a great whiskey as well. Well, as we all know, the panel likes to repeat names, and so this time they're like, you know what? Let's just put Re on there.
Yeah, accidentally as well, I should mention, but it's not like they try and do it all the time, but they do it.
No, there's bound to be repeat.
Pheasants is a good call though, for all the reasons. I agree. Like Lockie's comments are going on, so pheasants is kind of where they were going with that, I'm sure. So it does make sense.
I
haven't tasted it yet. Far out. I'm gonna have some.
You should taste it.
Adam was bang on. 20-year-old refill ex bourbon, 4.306.
Yeah, it was a great whiskey.
Ooh.
And Betty, I know you're just joining us, but we're also running a complimentary shipping promo, which if you order anything over $250 or more, then use the code SHIPINMAY. Complimentary shipping for the rest of the week. Includes this dram and every dram on tasting, except for 160.1.
Good, yeah. Good qualifier there.
Because it's sold out.
Do we check all our codes that like mash words together to make sure they don't have weird consequences? Ship in May seems okay.
Yes.
Ship in May. Ship in May.
Or sheep in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine. We're covered, guys.
I mean,
it's not like Wizard Boyle's album party, as everyone will remember.
Yeah, I was about to.
Or is it actually IP man?
Oh, mate, you are blowing this wide open.
IP in May. No, never mind. Never mind. I've lost it.
Yeah, you're not Dan Browning us now, mate. It's just ship in May, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah, Sue's
it's
album
like
party.
Dan like baby.
Sue's an album party. Yeah.
Music and Malts was last month. These sherried 66s give big barbecue sauce vibes, says Corbin Monday.
They do.
Circa
they do.
1 minute ago.
Circa 1 minute ago.
Circa, not Durka.
It's. I will agree with you, Adam. It's not had the most texture I've had in a 66 for a while.
No, it's a little bit thin, but not in a bad way. Just in there's so many flavors there, and as you said, so many rich flavors that you kind of expect it to have a more viscous palate. And that's okay, because that's also kind of the beauty of it. It throws you a little bit of a curveball.
I think also coming off the palate of that 160, which is so dense and full and fatty and
huge. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit thinner than it really probably is, but yeah. I have a feeling that might be a big cause for that. Still delicious, regardless.
What's the ABV on it? 59.4%.
The finish on this is brilliant.
Beautiful.
Like the lasting, what's left in the palate and just the warming is so good on this.
Warming. I'm getting mostly ashiness, like a good ash. on the finish.
I was going to I'll correct myself. Yeah, I was going to say, and belies it because it's 15 years, but it is actually the highest ABV we've had. So part of the warmth is probably from that.
And
Is it?
yeah, it is the highest we've had so far.
Oh, there you go.
But I think that ashiness also is still that kind of, for me, it's still that burning chocolate, that that gritty kind of.
Which always reminds me of like home chocolate fondue gone wrong because you've left it on.
You've taken your eyes off
little
it for
metal
1 second.
thing. Yeah, literally 1 second, and your whole night's ruined. You know,
And trying to get that stuff off the bottom of a pan.
Look who's joined the party. Look at these spuds. Mr. Matt Bailey from the mainland Europe.
You can't say.
Probably still wearing his,
look at these
his
spuds
burnt orange
when
hoodie.
Your YouTube profile picture looks like you're from Superbad, mate. Jesus.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Who's that guy?
Corbin Mundy, get back to work, MB. Yeah, that's right, Corbin. Anyway, this whiskey's good.
I'll take that comment.
Best head tonight definitely goes to Lockie. Yeah, I just.
I'm going to do the rest of
I work from home today.
So did I. No excuse.
I'm going to do the rest of the tasting like this.
No, I worked from home today.
Yeah, I went to a cafe for a bit. All right.
Wait, Lachlan, he's trying to throw us off. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
As one of my oldest friends used to say, walk through a tornado backwards.
I'm just in it for the title, mate. I'm in it for the title game with Bailey. I crave his attention.
I can't even do my Chemical Romance thing anymore because it just doesn't. It's just.
See, this is what happens when, like, literally, we've just been derailed now. If the guy complains that whatever, he's got no leg to stand on. He comes on, busts us up. Your fault, Bailey.
Looks like Tom from MySpace trying to be everyone's friend. Corbin, that's the comment of the century.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
don't accept Matt Bailey. Shall we move to the edge of midnight?
I was going to say we should move to the edge of midnight.
I love this whiskey. I've had this before. I was waiting for this because I know it's going to be good.
Well,
so this one is not released in May our term, but it is featured as our Road to the Whisky Wanderers Festival, because this year we're introducing the Whisky Wanderers Festival, which is our spin-on Face Shield, the Scotch Whisky Festivals, Flavour Hunter Festivals, all flavour, all just good, unique whiskey. And this year we are concentrating a lot of lesser known, off the beaten track sort of distilleries. But that's all coming in June. So now we thought we'd highlight some past festival releases, and that includes 53.447.
And while we're on that
beautiful
point,
14-year-olds.
We should also say that there are still, I believe, a few virtual packs for June available.
So yeah, June is a huge month for us, not just for in-person events, but also we're doing things a little bit differently with the virtual packs. We're doing one pack, one virtual tasting every single week. Well, for the first 3 weeks to coincide with the 5 releases every Friday in June.
Mm-hmm.
So every Friday in June, we're going to have a different set of 5 whiskeys released. That Wednesday, we'll have the virtual tasting for those 5 released. And there are still 2 packs left for next Wednesday's first virtual tasting.
And like
week 3 sold out.
A little bit of UK intel because I've had a few of them before. Not I think not all of them, because my visit was also coincided with their outturn. So there was a lot of new stuff out to try. But the 12, which is in one of our packs, the 35-year-old,
the velvety smooth
is mind-blowingly good liquid. And there's a few others in there that are like absolute. I don't know if this phrase is still the one we use, but like the sleeper cask equivalent. You know, they'll go under the radar. There'll be little, side footnote things to the rest of the story, but they are brilliant. So whichever pack you're thinking of, there's like zingers in all of them. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And that 12 is a double gold winner for this year's ISB
Justified.
award.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. That's a 3rd week release, and that is unfortunately the pack sold out. We've gotten 12 of those bottles in the country. That'll be released on the final Friday. You'll see the price and you'll freak out because it's extremely affordable for what it is, a
It's
35-year-old
insane.
double gold award-winning whiskey. But as you said, Alex, there are so many codes that we're getting that are just sleepers. They're sleepers. They're not popular. Most of them don't have OBs, and that's part of it. Part of the Whiskey Wanderers Festival is literally off the beaten track whiskey, wandering into just blind flavor, and you'll see a lot of that. So yeah, a couple of packs for next week still left. We've got a few more packs for week 2. Pack 3 sold out, but also get to all the in-person events around the country. There's a tasting in every state, and Canberra is also going to be announced. If there's anyone in ACT watching at the moment, 10th of July, tickets will be on sale soon. Otherwise, there are still tickets for every state left.
Yeah, no, and it's like you said, it's the perfect array for a festival-style event because you're going to want to get around each of them, take your time, try some random things, think about it, let it breathe. Sometimes events, if it's just a bit quick fire, you might not get as much out of it. But I think the way we've set up the events, you'll have plenty of time to go try things. If you think they need, the reason I'm saying that is because if you're trying the 12 at an event, give it some time. And others are like that too. I think there's the 35.400.
It is, yeah.
That's the one. .400.
One amazing milestone, great, big tick. Glen Murray, I've said it. Who cares? We love that distillery. I actually, Clanger. I had that with Graham and Faye Cool, the ex, for those who don't know, ex-head distiller at Glen Murray in Scotland. And you won't be disappointed when you try it. Everyone with the pack or at an event that is featured at.
Very cool. Confirmed by Matt Bailey himself.
I
Alex Moore's already confirmed it.
I already confirmed it, Matt. I already done it, mate. I've done it. Just did it.
Gosh.
It's not even watching.
Yeah. Corbin, buy your tickets, please.
Yeah.
Lachlan's coming down. Perth is getting 8 whiskeys, free roam cocktail style event. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be very exciting. It was also my very first trip to Perth, so
Hey.
I'm very, very excited for that.
I've got ads. I've gone back to the Fraz, mate, and I've nosed, and I haven't retasted the 53, but I've nosed it quite a bit and gone back to the Fraz, and it is unbelievably sweet. Like bottom of the lolly bag.
I like that.
Spun sugar, super sweet.
Well, speaking of, let's jump into that 53.447. Yeah, the road to the Whisky Wanderers Festival. It all started somewhere, and got to pay tribute to the past, which is these incredible old facial releases from a couple of years ago. So it's bourbon into PX. This one, I believe.
Having that separation
PX Oloroso? Nope, PX.
PX, American Oak PX.
I mean, this is like everything I'd want in a sherry peated whiskey.
This is down the line, no nonsense 53.
Yeah, 100%.
It's down the line, sherried 53. It's down the line for exactly what you'd expect. It's got that kind of coal fire industrial element to it. Steel shavings.
Yeah, bit of beach bonfire.
Yeah, the sea air. The nori flakes.
Yeah, I'm hunting for something. I think I usually expect like that little bit of vanilla in Mr. C. But I think that maybe the PX has made it Mr. C, Mr. Consistent.
You know what it is? Those
Mr. C.
Not Mr. SC, mate. Yeah.
The sweet coffee flavored like spiral tube things, wafer tube.
I can get on board, exactly. Yeah.
That's
but it's much more chocolate coffee than it is the vanilla bit. I agree.
Yeah.
It's more cocoa nib and it's a little bit more darker flavors than that like light vanilla airiness sometimes you get on them.
And candied
very cool.
almonds.
Yeah, more nutty, more ashy than I expect from this too. I would have maybe called this wrong as which distillery it was based on just the ash level in it, because usually I don't find a heap of ash, and I find it more on other Kildalton Islers, but this has got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the nose is like yo-yoing between very ashy for me and then a little bit of that sort of iodine ice cream creeping in.
Yeah, and yeah, that ice cream, the almost like tiramisu flavored ice cream, or
Yeah, God, I'd kill for that right now.
This is the problem with whiskey tastings, just always hungry at the end.
Always leave hungry, yeah.
And for specific food, because we talk about it, I'm like, where do I get X at this time of night? Like, I'm going to go out and try to find something.
Yeah. So you're about to plug Uber or something, like you.
I wish.
Also, has anyone figured out what the F word is that Matt's talking about yet? Is it Fetacan? Did someone say Fetacan?
No one said it. Well, you've now said it, so now we won't know, Adam.
I've said the F word.
Fidelity.
No one is saying that, mate. Psh, far out.
Not adulterating this with water. Get the bonfire on the beach, eating copper brazola. Corbin
Gabagool.
That sounds
good. The brazola comment
is
that's. I was getting that actually. I don't know, Corbin, if that you were getting that kind of thing earlier as well, because when we get that savoury umami, it's always like, okay, that's one headline note, but then like, what are we getting? And you sort of dig down into your salumis and stuff, and very big difference between some of them and brazola. And I got brazola. I think it might have been on the 160. I'm going to revisit, but that note sparked an earlier memory for me.
I love this.
It's a great note.
Smoky licorice. It's very much smoky Dutch licorice. Yeah, bang on.
I find that ironic, that note, because when you were talking about the those wafers and you were going like this and you were talking about the twirling things, all I could think of was like a twirling licorice thing, but a coffee version that I've never encountered. And now you've just said smoky licorice snacks. That's it's great.
It can be both.
That's interesting, because I'm just trying to think what year it was, but fish licorice was a festival cask by us, and it was a 53. And so there must be a little similar vein going on with that. Smoky is a bit different, but that kind of maritime Isla licorice was going on.
There is an aniseedy spirit character to Distillery 53. So I've always found for Distillery 53, the vanilla that we normally find, which is not as present today. There's always that rich almond butter, nutty kind of thing to it as well. And then there's that really kind of big industrial coke fire, coal fire, steelworksy kind of smoke. Compared to your more iodine or ashy that you find from the Kildalton part.
Yeah, that's it.
But then licorice is always there. It's coming through. It's always aniseedy, always licoricey.
I reckon Corbin probably can correct me on this, because he's done a similar post then, but I reckon fish licorice was an earlier release, but it was younger, so it might even be kind of the same era. If I'm right about all that. Write in. Tell us what you think. By the way, Matt Bailey, we own Face Isle. No one can say otherwise. That's ours. No one else should use it.
Straight away.
But we're not doing it this year. We're Whiskey Wanderers
this year. Just because we want to.
Just paying homage to the
but
past,
we want to do that. That's our choice. Otherwise, we just...
Yeah, that is our choice. Yeah.
It's also... That was it. 369 had a nice flow to it, That's it.
Discussion Malt Whisky Society isn't a region. We don't need to play by regional festival rules. No. We do our own thing.
We do whatever we want.
We just celebrate whiskey.
And the Whiskey Wanderers Festival is not. It's a little bit about celebrating the regions, but really it's just about discovering new flavor. As we said, a lot of the bottlings you will see are from codes that we don't often see and are not hyped up codes. So that's it's going to be exciting. Honestly, there's going to be some regions that aren't actually represented this year, and that's a conscious decision to do that.
There's also, I mean, there's 2 whiskies that we're seeing from a distillery that I've been really excited to see join the fray, which is 162. Both are peated and unpeated from one of my favorite oak styles or oak types, which is
Chinkapin. The Chinkapins.
Yeah.
Chinkapin.
I'd say 90% of the previous Chinkapin casks I've tasted have this profound hazelnut chocolate thing to them, like Ferrero Rocher, which is insane. It's really, really cool to see. So I'm really hoping to see that.
But it's going to be... I had a nose of just at Whiskey and Element. It arrived yesterday, the Island and Sweetie Shop, which is the 162.5, I think. No, I think it's a .2. So we're getting 2 of the 162s, and this is the peated one, and it blew me away. It was like fresh, really briny black olives. It reminded me a lot of the Whiskey and Element Ardenmerken cask, actually, but a lot brighter.
It's funny you say that too.
So I'm really excited to revisit
It's just
that.
really interesting, those new, well, not new world ones, but like new generation of distilleries, because an exciting thing about the societies, we often get them in all their forms early doors. So, you can do that side by side. Oh, that's their unpeated run versus their peated run. That's their sherry versus their bourbon. And sometimes, like Ardnamurchan spark my memory of that because, you've got everything. You've got peated in bourbon, unpeated in bourbon, peated in sherry, unpeated in sherry. And we get the gamut of it. And I think 162 is going to be the same. Well, it's Chinkapin, but it's a very different...
It's also... Run. Yeah, it's also worth noting with 162, we're getting the .2 and the .5, but the .1 is also part of the Whiskey Wanderers Festival. We're just not getting it. It's .1 to .5 are being released all at the same time all around the world. So we're getting 2 of them. The UK got, I think they got the .1 and another one. But it's really cool that the every society branch is getting 162 essentially at the same time, just different variations
and single cask
of it.
They didn't do a batch for it.
And single cask. No, they're all single cask this year, except for the Wandering Alchemy, which is a 5-region blend. But it's still a cask-strength release. It's not watered down 50%. There it is. Thank you, Lachlan.
I don't want to, whatever, but it is very, very, very good. It should fly.
Yeah, I am so excited to taste this tomorrow.
Sorry, Locke.
Yeah, we're doing a full Whiskey Wanderers training again tomorrow with the Whiskey and Element team, and it's gonna be good fun. Also, thanks, Matt. So we've actually got .1 to .6 for Whiskey Wanderers Festival all around the world, but super cool that we get 2 of them here for the 162. But yeah, that Wandering Alchemy is going to be really cool. From all accounts I've heard, it's Sorry, Alex. Did you? I feel like I cut you off. Did you?
The reason I'm extra excited to see it is because I was sort of like, great that single casks are back in full form for festivals or Wanderers. It's great, but then I did try it, and I actually had it a couple of times because people were keen to give it to me. And one of the times I had it was blind, and it was just like the whole room did not think it was heresy. Like, it's just this, it's got these insanely good balance to it, which is like, yep, that must be a single cask that's just got lovely flavors coming out from all directions, a well-done cask. Yeah. And then it belies its years as well, because to me anyway, I thought it was older when I tasted it blind. But it doesn't matter because it's just really good liquid, like Shimmering Silk was. Like, it's just solid liquid that you would happily have a bottle on the table with all your friends for one session, or you can keep it in your cupboard for 2 years and enjoy it the whole time. Like, it's really good juice.
Yeah. I'm very excited for it.
I'm also really excited to see, we had a couple of comments about STR before, one from Corbin and one from Matt, which, the society doesn't do STR lightly. Yeah, but it doesn't happen frequently. We do recharge, we do We do HTMCs, but the STR is quite infrequent for us. So to have an STR cask come through for Whiskey Wanderers is incredible to see.
I think
also,
we've got
Willie
a
and Coastal
few.
18.
Oh, the Oiling Coastal 18, I'm so excited to see, and we're getting a good amount of it in. Honestly, I think I'm just going to be buying a bottle of that just on spec alone. Everyone, June our turn, as per usual, will be available this Friday. So the last Friday of the month, and then from next Friday, the 6th, I believe. The first round of bottles will be on sale. So all will be revealed in greater detail on Friday, but you all know it's coming. And it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a huge month.
Yep.
I love this. Well,
no, we can't, Matt.
And we all know that Matt knows what he's talking about here. But yeah, the historical role in the development of HTMC. For those who don't know, HTMC is heavy toast, high toast, medium char.
Medium char.
This is probably one of the most interesting cask types that we see as a society. A lot of 16s, a lot of 66s. We've got a few of them in Whiskey Wanderers. It is such an important cask type for us as a society.
And I think we sort of got lucky in that the last couple of years of the late Dr. Jim Swan's era, who sort of pioneered new casks, not through new origin liquids, like there was bourbon, there was sherry, but just through new treatments. We sort of luckily,
well, it was the SDR.
Yeah, got him for his sort of last era of advising distilleries and companies. He sort of did Cavalan and a few others as primary advisor and got the New World onto it, but helped society with its cask acquisition at the time or treatment at the time. And it's good that we were first pioneers as a result, because it means that a lot of now age stuff we've got coming through was done early, and means that it was done in that format. Whereas new guys are just if they're getting started, you won't see a 10-year-old in an HTMC for a long time. Whereas we've had 10-year-old out in HTMC for years now. So first movers.
Yeah. Well, I'll also highlight this comment here from Corbin. I don't know if this is popular or not, but HTMC greater than STR. Look, I guess it's a bit of horses for courses, but the whole reason of STR existing is to basically reactivate wine casks that don't travel well. Trying to use red wine casks and white wine casks in Scotland is tough, because the wine that is entrenched in that timber will turn to vinegar. So reactivating that and reactivating the timber for maturation to create some really interesting flavors.
Yep.
Fantastic.
For me, Corbin, it's all about the time, right? Like it's whether it's full maturation or it's gone too long in that, if it's an extra maturation cask, because I've had some rotters that are just too long, and some amazing ones which are just extra maturation for a couple of years in whatever it is. And for me, it's all about the duration, not so much the type.
Pick and choose your battles.
Yeah. But I'll semi-agree with you, Corbin, for S&WS HTMC.
Yeah, on balance, me too.
Yeah, typically I'll say the same. But again, in a very diplomatic answer, horses for courses,
But let's see a Distillery 68 not in either of those for a change. Matt, can you run that up the flagpole, please? I'd like a 68 in bourbon, and that's it. Let's just do that.
First bourbon.
All right. Yeah, that's what I want. That's all I need.
We've seen 68s in bourbon into the custom American European oak.
Stop adding things to it, Adam.
Which,
stop adding stuff.
They're not STR HTMC. All right. Before we sign off, let's get a final frazzle dazzle check.
Oh, frazzle check. Frazzle check. I've still got a third of a bottle. That's my check.
Okay. All right, Chief.
It's very
Mine's
sweet.
milky.
It's milky, like the lactose lolly.
Yeah,
sweet.
like milk bottle. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
I still find that juicy pineapple thing coming through heavily.
definitely fruity. Fruit on.
It's mildly there for
The
me.
pepper's
Yeah.
gone though. Like there's
The
no
pineapple.
astringent note
Oh.
at all. No matter what the flavour underlying the astringency
Absolutely.
is, it's all sweetness, all fruit, all confectionery.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Well,
Snags, I'll see you Friday.
Well,
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for Friday. If anyone's in Melbourne, we literally have one ticket left to our single cask spirits tasting, which is all unreleased society spirits except for one cognac, but the rest Armagnac, rye, rum, bourbon, and an unreleased single malt, not Scottish. Will be on pour with Alex and Lachlan leading the charge, Whiskey
It sure will
Nelman.
be.
So if you're around, one ticket left.
Yeah. And come and join us for all of the Whiskey Wanderers, another little thing for your main
Absolutely.
city. Come and see us.
Yeah, Paps is in.
I'll be at most of them around the country as well as Adam. So, yeah, grab a ticket if they're still available. We'd love to see you. We've got some really fun things happening in Perth and Adelaide and Brisbane. I believe Hobart.
Yep, Brisbane's almost sold out. Adelaide's almost sold out as well.
Melbourne, fun, yay!
Yeah, Melbourne will be great fun.
Melbourne's actually almost sold out as well. When you consider how many tickets we put up, there's only about 20 left. So we've already sold over 100 tickets to Melbourne. So definitely get in. We've got the full lineup as well as Sydney. Less than 20 tickets left for Sydney at the moment. Jump onto it. It's going to be the full festival experience. If you were there last year for the Flavours Hunter Festival, it's going to be very similar thing, but we've got more whiskies this year. And some very exciting stuff from a little Whiskey Nelman stand as well.
Yeah.
Jules will be there, both in Melbourne and Sydney. As Lockie said, get your tickets to Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Hobart, Launceston, and Canberra when it goes on sale this week as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed anyone.
No, I think you got it all. And then we've got Champs for anyone who's coming to Champs later in July. You know,
all sold out. A few spectator tickets left if you are so inclined to just join us at the party.
It's still a good party, even if you don't compete. It's a great party. It's a great
time.
Chance to meet members from all over the country.
We've got
worth it.
Exactly. And we do have, I think for the first time ever, at least 2 members from every single state in Australia flying down to Melbourne for Champs this year. So we are actually going to have, you are going to be able to meet members from all over the country. We've got Starwood, Glendronach, Monkey Shoulder all on board for the after party, as well as the SMWS stand pouring all single casks. And yeah, the night before we'll have a pre-party as well at Whiskey Element. They've been kind enough to open up upstairs, and Durbridge will be running the Society pop-up bar. It's going to be a good time. We'll leave you all now. Don't forget complimentary shipping until Sunday. An email will be hitting your inboxes very soon. Lachlan, very well done.
Thank you.
Alex, very well done. Adam, very well done. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, very self-congratulatory.
Yes.
All right.
See you soon, team. Good
enjoy
session.
the night. I'll see both of you on Friday.
Yeah.
See ya.